Before you quit your job to start a business, watch this video. I've seen way too many guys crash in the first year of their business because nobody told them what was coming. I'm definitely not here to talk you out of it. My construction business earned 7 figures a year. Starting my own business for my own personal reasons was one of the best decisions I ever made in my whole life. But I remember driving just one singular van in the very beginning, all by myself, going to jobs in the middle of January, and I didn't even know if I was going to get paid or not. I remember those days when the credit cards just kept going up and up and up and up on their balance, when the checking account just remained basically zero. Nobody told me what to expect, especially in my first 18 months in business. I definitely had to earn it and learn it the hard way. But you don't have to. I wish I just would have had somebody there to help mentor me in the very beginning. Here's what the entrepreneurship world is going to sell you. Freedom, flexibility, be your own boss, escape the 9-to-5 job. All that is definitely true, and I'm living proof of it. But here's also what they leave out. The freedom is definitely real, but the path to the freedom is definitely way harder than any short is going to be able to explain to you. I started my first year in business with just $400 in tools and a credit card balance that just kept going up. And I definitely wasn't sure if I was going to be able to pay that off or not. No customers, no guaranteed paycheck. Here's 4 things that nobody ended up telling me in the very beginning. Truth 1, the first 18 months or so years of your business is going to break you slowly. Not in some big, hard, daily grind way, but in that subtle, subconscious, continual pressure. When you work for somebody else, there's a structure that is holding up your paycheck whether you notice it or not. Someone else makes the calls when things go wrong. Someone cuts your paycheck on Friday no matter how the week went. When you go out on your own, all of that security disappears overnight. Every problem is yours, and every mistake costs you directly. Nobody's coming to save you. That phrase definitely hits so much different, so much harder than you would have ever imagined it until you've actually experienced it. I was left all alone with me and just my decisions. I'm not saying this to scare you off. I'm saying this so you can be prepared to know what you're getting into. And I didn't, and I just refused to quit because I had a bigger purpose than myself. Discipline beats motivation all the time, and that's just one reason why I continued and I was able to make it this long. Stay with me, this is the next part where it actually takes a big turn. Truth 2, the cash flow problems will keep you up at night. The business only gets paid when the customer decides to pay versus the employees always getting paid on time. I had a $40,000 job, it was solid. I did the work, everybody was happy, but then the customer came back fighting the price after the job's done. Disputes, delays, lawyers in the background, and the $40,000 just sat there in the gray zone, while the business continued to spend money just for operating expenses. I can tell you exactly what it's like to open up your bank account every few days and then you just see that it's the same amount again and again and again and again, but all the bills keep going out. And that fear sets in where the paychecks might come late and it follows you to dinner. It leads to sleepless nights sometimes or loss of sleep. Discipline has a whole new meaning when the money isn't coming in as it's supposed to. The real test is if you keep going when things get extremely ugly. And quitting feels rational. That's when character gets built. There will be so many months that won't go as you had hoped and will pay you way less than you imagined. If you have a family who's depending on you for everything, this next part will hit hardest. Truth 3. Your relationships are definitely going to change. The way that you think about time and money, risk and responsibility, it all shifts. It has to. But the people who are around you, closest friends and family and everybody else in between, won't necessarily change with you. Some of the people that are the closest to you will give you the most hell. Skeptical in a way that will sound supportive, but doesn't feel like it at all. If you have a wife or partner or kids, they're definitely signing up for this too. Whether they know it or not, the stress is not going to stay at just the office. You're distracted at the dinner table. It's hard to be able to describe to others. The couples who deal with this pressure the best understand what's coming before they start. That the first year or years are going to carry a stress that an employee never even had any awareness of. What holds you through it is definitely not motivation. Motivation disappears and comes again like the wind. What holds you together is some kind of belief, faith, or discipline, character, or even a bigger reason than yourself. You need to know what that is before you even attempt to start. Truth number 4, the guys who make it the long run are not necessarily the most talented. I've definitely been in this business long enough to know what it takes to be able to succeed, and those I've noticed have a pattern who fail. And it's definitely not the most talented or the best educated. Not the one with the best connections or the most money going in. It's the ones who keep going even when the fantasy dies. When nothing is working and quitting seems absolutely necessary. That's the period. That's the period when the business gets decided. The failure is not in the business. It's almost always in the expectation you put on it. In reflection, should you quit? Here's my answer. You should quit if you have unreasonable expectations, but you go for it if you have a reason bigger than yourself. Mine was my faith. I wanted to be able to have the freedom to observe my Sabbath and so forth without having to ask somebody for permission. The real question isn't quit or don't quit. It's this. Are you willing to hold the standard when nobody's cheering for you? When your account is low and you're running the whole project by yourself, it seems like. And there's no manager to blame, and there's no paycheck coming Friday. That's the actual job. It's not freedom first. In fact, are you giving yourself the freedom? Have you subscribed yet? It's responsibility first. Freedom comes after. The guys and the girls who last long enough are the ones who can feel it, are the ones who made peace with the responsibility before they started. Ordinary people can definitely and do build extraordinary lives. Through this, I am living proof. A construction company that started with nothing and now making 7 figures a year. That wasn't luck. That was discipline. That was accountability. And determined to keep going when folding and stopping and quitting would have been the easy way out. And it would have relieved the constant pressure that you feel. But I went in blind, and you don't have to. If something in this video hits close to home, write it down in the comments. What's the one thing that could definitely take you out in the first year or years? Figure that one out now before you've already started the business and then quit. The boring years set up the breakthrough years, but you have to survive the boring, ugly, hard years first. If this helped you, share it with somebody else you know it can help them too. Don't let them start without the full picture of what to expect. Subscribe for the no fluff, no motivation, no hacks, just my personal experience of what actually works. Invisible to successful. Ordinary people building extraordinary lives.